Nope. If this was your first visit, I would love for you guys to subscribe. I have 3 new videos coming every week. Wait, hold on. That's not true at all. Musicians can make a lot of money. Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is David Wallman, and today we're going to talk about making a living as a musician, which I see a lot of different things out there. And these kind of videos, although I'm really passionate about not only music, but also entrepreneurship, are a little bit difficult for me to do because whenever we talk about money, it would be super useful to give real numbers, but sometimes that changes the perception that people have. If you knew how much I made monthly, that might change your perception. I'm not saying that I make way more or way less than what you think, but that might change your perception. But I'm going to be as open as I can be today because I really have a desire to help you guys. Most of my friends are musicians. Some are making a living with music. Others are really struggling. These two groups of musicians have nothing to do with their musicianship or their ability to play music. A pro musician is someone who is paid with his music, whether it's gigs or teaching or whatever. That's what I consider pro musicians. Non-pros are people who are not paid for that. There are some extremely talented people in the non-pro group. On the other hand, there are some musicians in the pro group who are not as advanced as you might think. I just wanted to clear that out of the way. If you're not making money with your music, that has nothing to do, most of the times, with your ability to create music. Nothing to do with that. That said, if you are a musician and you just love doing it so much, you need time to do that. That time could be taken by great things, raising kids, getting married, traveling, those kind of things, but also things that are necessary but not that fulfilling sometimes, like a job. And I can totally relate. For years, I worked in industries that I really couldn't care less about. I was a sandwich artist at Subway. I was also customer service at the Home Depot. So after years working in these jobs that I absolutely hated, I had to make a change. And my idea back then was to sell backing tracks. It started with a few backing tracks that I would sell for 99 cents each. Then I converted to guitar lessons, courses, and I've made videos on that topic. But all that to say that was the early beginnings. As I was trying to build the Guitar Playback brand, I also built my YouTube channel. The problem is that although I thought my backing tracks were good, I had no customers. Plus, a few months after launching guitarplayback.com, another similar website came, and they did it in a way that was absolutely amazing. I'm talking about Jamtrack Central. They released their first version of the website, which was at the time, I think, bluesjamtracks.com or something like that. And that came out, that hit the market, and I was very discouraged because I thought these guys are now doing exactly what I had the dream to do. That's the website that I wanted to put out at the time. But I didn't let that discourage me. I kept going. I added some backing tracks, added some courses. At the same time, started to grow my YouTube channel by really pushing the weekly 2 videos per week. That's what I started with. I approached it as a TV show. I did that for years. And even though the audience was not there, I still tried to make videos imagining that billions of people would watch me. I was really faithful to the schedule and 2 videos a week, regardless of how many people were watching. The growth was really slow. I just sold a few backing tracks here and there. It was really difficult. Thankfully, I was still teaching one-on-one at the time. I could kind of survive, basically. It was really difficult, but I didn't let that slow me down. I kept going. Thankfully, I had a few students on the side, which helped me sustain the bare minimum income that I could have. We rented a really small place and that worked for a little while, but it was difficult. However, I never stopped doing it. A few years after that, I kept doing my thing. It was really difficult, but I had a nice collection of backing tracks and I managed to get 100 backing tracks, which I put into a pack. And that was the first bundle that I sold on the website that was sold at $49. By that time, my channel grew a little bit. I was about 10,000 subscribers maybe after 4 years of religiously releasing 2 videos every week. I managed to get the sales up a little bit. Every once in a while, I would sell one of those bigger bundles, the $49 bundle. And even though that was absolutely not enough to pay rent, bills, food, and all the extra stuff, I still celebrated those victories. Anytime I would sell a $49 pack, It's like, yes, I have reached this goal. I made $49 today. That's incredible. Now that income at the time was still really minimum. I was starting to get a little bit of ad revenue on YouTube, but that was really low. That was maybe $50 a month. Overall, when I made $1,000 in a month, I was really, really happy, but that was not enough because think of rent, think of food, think of every expenses that you have here living in America. There's no way enough to make a living. So I started a long journey studying marketing techniques. And I have to be honest, those times were very overwhelming, very discouraging, because it seems that every single marketer guy on the internet had his own technique. It seemed that those guys were really driven by money, cash flow, and that's a language that I didn't really understand at the time. I knew that money was needed, but I really didn't want to make money the big thing to obtain. I just wanted to create music. I wanted time with my family, friends, and money was a necessary evil in a way. But it seemed that all these marketer guys were just all about money. And oh man, that was so frustrating. Now, I understand that things have a cost and some of these marketing courses were really high priced. At the time, I thought that was ridiculous. Now I get it. And I'm going to get into that a little bit at some point. All that to say that I probably spent 5-6 years studying different techniques. I'm talking about sales funnels, email lists, all the vocabulary that is really overwhelming, especially if you have 10,000 ways of doing that. I can't count how many sleepless nights I had, but it was a lot. And I was really feeling down because the sales were not improving. I just didn't know where to start. I think everything finally clicked about a year ago. So you have to realize that up to then, I was still struggling. I was doing better, but it was still difficult to make an income. And about a year ago, I realized that all these marketing guys, they were all basically saying the same thing. In a nutshell, they were all saying deliver a huge free value to your audience, take them from the place they are and bring them to a better place. For me, it's really always been about helping guitar players find their voice and express themselves and enjoy what music is for themselves. Now, by itself, delivering all this huge, awesome value for free doesn't bring any cash. The truth is, you're actually earning something much more valuable than money. You're earning trust. It's that human connection that is made via video, in my case, that is invaluable. A friend is much more likely to help you out than a complete stranger. And I really do consider most of you my friends. Even though I have met only a very small fraction of my audience, I still consider you guys friends. So how does that look like in my own business, Guitar Playback, for example? It actually all starts here on this YouTube channel. My only goal here when it comes to this channel is to help you progress. If I can bring you guys to a better musical place, if I can help you understand musical concepts in a better way so that you can apply them, develop your own voice, and enjoy music better for free, then I have reached my goal. That connection is now made. I earned your trust. We're friends. We're all in this together. Awesome. I feel fulfilled. You do too. We're good. I realize that most of my viewers are never going to spend a dime on my courses, and that's okay. If a person is not going to spend any money on what you have to offer, that person is just never going to spend any money on what you have to offer. However, the small percentage of people who might spend money on what you have to offer are much more likely to spend that money if that trust connection is made. About a year ago, I started rebranding my website, guitarplayback.com, focusing on that exact strategy. That's what a sales funnel basically is, and I didn't make that strategy up. It's something that is used everywhere today. Basically, the funnel starts quite wide at the top. That's this channel. There's a lot of people watching this because it's free, it's great value. People go in there. And then the funnel gets narrower as we go. At the very end of the funnel, that's where the sale is made, hopefully. And there are less people at the end. That's the small percentage of people who are likely to maybe spend money on you. But it has to start wide, and you're filtering these people out. How do you filter them? You filter them by small steps, small baby actions. You notice that on some of my videos. Sometimes I would teach something, and if you want to get the tabs and the backing tracks for free, you need to do a specific action. Once someone does that, he progresses through the funnel. there are less people in that circle of the funnel than there were at the beginning. In other words, not 100% of my viewers will download that, but whoever does is in that funnel. And there are different strategies to make sure that you know who is where in that funnel. And then it's just a matter of bringing those people down the funnel in a logical way until they reach the very end. As the funnel drips out, some people are gonna walk away from the funnel. That's okay. They might unsubscribe from your emails. They might unsubscribe from your channel. That's fine. Those people are people who are not going to buy. They don't find value in what you have to offer, and that's okay. No hard feelings at all. I totally get it. I leave funnels all the time. And I'm not just talking about online strategies. This happens everywhere. You go to a grocery store, you're in your car driving, you see one store, and you decided to go to that one. Well, you're in the funnel. Then you go into aisle 7 because that's where they keep the mayonnaise. Go see the mayonnaise. It's $3. Hey, that's not a bad price. You pick up the product. You're a little bit closer to the end of the funnel. Or maybe it's $17. Ooh, no, that's not good. Well, you left the funnel. Funnels are everywhere. Online marketing is no different than offline marketing. Once you understand that, you can go more in depth, but you really need to understand that principle of the funnel where a lot of people are in and then you filter them out until you have a very specific audience at the very end of the funnel that are most likely to purchase your items. And that was my mistake for years when I started my business. I targeted everyone at the beginning of the funnel. I didn't filter anyone out. And so I was just like shooting arrows in the dark, and sometimes people would make a sale, sometimes they wouldn't. And you might think, well, why wouldn't you do that? Because the people who are likely to buy, they are in that big opening of the funnel, so you're gonna reach them. The thing is, the small percentage of people who might spend money on you don't know that they will yet. They won't know until they go through that funnel, because that funnel not only filters people out, but it's also training people to know that, hey, I want to spend money on that guy. And you do that by consistently delivering awesome free value. That'll strengthen the trust connection that we talked about. That trust connection happens right here on this channel. Through the funnel, you keep strengthening that. There are more detailed strategies, but that's basically how it works. I started really implementing these things about 7 months ago. Check out this graph. That's Guitar Playback. Those are the sales. Now, please don't think that this is bragging. This is not. This is just telling you that as a musician, you can make it, but you need to have some kind of entrepreneurship mind, some kind of business-oriented mind. Yes, it can be very overwhelming, especially if you get your info from thousands of people. But in the end, it's no different than what you already do in real life to your loved ones. Hopefully, you love them. You generously give to them. You don't expect anything from them. All things are going to work out in the end very naturally in the business world if you apply those rules. And back to the reason why I had sleepless nights when I was studying this stuff, why it was so overwhelming. It's not because the strategy itself was complicated. It's because I had a hard time understanding the strategy because it seemed to be cluttered by all the little details to put into place that strategy. The truth is there are thousands of ways to put together the elements of that strategy. And I believe that a lot of them are really valid ways. What kind of platform are you going to use for your website? What kind of advertising venues are you going to decide to focus on? All those things are good things, and most of them work if you focus on them, but you have to have the main strategy, which is super simple. Love people, help them, be their friends. The rest will fall into place. If you're in the same boat where I was a few years back, struggling, trying to understand things, wanting to make a living with my passion, music, but not knowing where to start, I'm actually thinking about putting together a group, a small group of people to which I'm gonna teach exactly all the steps that I took to bring me from those struggling years to today where I really feel that the business is taking off because of those strategies. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I know I really want to do this. If you're interested at all, I put together a sign-up page. The link is in the description of this video. Just enter your email. I'm not going to send you any emails unless I decide to move forward with this project. And when I do decide to put together that masterclass, I will offer that to people within that group. Again, I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know how much, I don't know details, but I do know that I figured out some things that I want to share to people, and I will share those things to the people in the group when the time comes. I know this video is a little different than the ones that I usually do, but I hope that it was value to you. I want to encourage you to pursue your passion. You can make a living with music, but you need to have some strategies and you need to have the entrepreneurship mind rolling, where basically you're thinking a little bit differently than the rest of the world. But you already are if you're a musician. If this was your first visit on this channel, you should subscribe because I have 3 videos every week helping guitar players like yourself find their voice on the instrument, develop it, and tell their own musical story. And also sometimes videos like this where I help you make a living with your music. Thank you so much. Remember, nobody can play the way you play on the guitar. I will see you next time.